we have is all the events are there. You can do filtering at the shop level. You can filter by event name. So you can say, hey, show me like whether this, for example, if you go back to our onboarding use case, you could easily say, hey, show me whether this shop has finished onboarding, right? It was kind of like we said, hey, look, we had a bunch of tooling already with the DevMCP server available that was being used widely by developers. And we kind of said, hey, wouldn't it be interesting if we could make a lot of those same capabilities available to merchants? I mean, it's a pretty hefty overhaul. We brought in API requests, actually. So all of your GraphQL, if you're still using REST, we have those API requests in there too. A bunch of filtering capabilities on those as well. So you can go and look at, hey, on this shop, show me all the queries I've done, show me the mutations I've done. You can look at errors there too.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another super exciting edition of the Liquid Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Karl Meisterheim, and with me, as always, by popular demand and my insistence, is Taylor Page. Taylor, hello.
Hello, Karl. Happy to be here, as always.
Glad you wouldn't want to miss this one, right? Because you have done the hard work of helping us round up someone very special who's been on the podcast a few times before, but we're always glad to have him back because he brings with him lots of Shopify developer goodness. So welcome to our guest, Eytan, who is a VP of product at Shopify, not the VP, although we consider him to be our VP of product. So Eytan, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Thank you. Great to be here, guys. Good to see you, Taylor. Good to see you, Karl.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time coming on. Very excited about everything that's dropping right now. So appreciate you always taking the time to actually walk us through some of it.
Yeah. We got a lot of good stuff.
So you guys have been working away in the code mines up there in Toronto and across the world, working on lots of exciting things. And you came to us the other day saying, hey, we're ready to talk about it. So you've got this big, long, sweet list of developer goodies, and we're going to get into it. So where would you like to start, Eytan?
We got a lot of things. Maybe start with like some of like the bread and butter of like building apps, and talking about the release we did for static apps, and making it possible to build apps with like fully on Shopify. I mean, it's a good place to start.
Yeah, let's do it. Cool. I saw that and that immediately caught my interest. So
yeah. So we've been thinking about this a lot. Like one of the things that we've heard a lot from, especially agencies, is like, hey, I'm doing some sort of customization. Maybe it's like a discount function or some sort of checkout configuration of like, hey, I'm doing payment customization, and they want to have like a simple user interface to go and allow for that kind of configuration, if you will. And we've obviously had some extension configuration in the admin. But we just really felt that we were just doing all these like bespoke things. And again, coming a lot from agencies who are like, look, I want to give merchants a simple configuration. I want it be like one and done, right? It can just run and be confident it'll run. And so we shipped a static app home extension, which allows developers to build their app home using our core extension capabilities, the same ones you use to build like an admin extension, the same componentry, all of that comes along with it. But we host it for your embedded app home. You can upload assets to it. So you give us like the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, you give us all that. Got a little bit of routing in there too. And so this really enables people to build like in combination with meta objects for storage. It allows people to build, and obviously functions, if you're doing like something in checkout, allows folks to build apps that are fully on Shopify. Obviously, we're focused a lot on the uptime and performance of those apps and of the whole platform. And so we're really excited about that because I think it's a good unlock, again, especially for agencies.
Yeah, this is huge. And I mean, well, at least my initial thought too was some of these little like extensions only apps and stuff that get rolled out or whatever too. It would be nice just to have some kind of UI that can be surfaced here directly in the admin. And that's something that's like possible with this too, right now? Like we can just roll something out like that.
Yeah. So in fact, when you do like Shopify App Init, you get two options. You get like a full remix app, which is an iframe, and then the extension only app actually comes with this as the app home. So when you choose extension only app, this is the default app home that we give you now.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Now, I know you touched on the performance bit, and we've seen in the past with some of the work Shopify has done with extensions and functions and things, part of how you're able to ensure that level of performance is through certain restrictions, limitations. Are there anything that we should be keeping in mind as developers around like where this would not be a good thing to reach for?
Ooh, it's a good question. So again, right now it is for like custom app. It's not something that is available for people who are targeting the App Store. We do have limitations on like total number of files and total like file size. I blank on those offhand, but they're in our documentation. Um, I, I'd say like if you're building something that is targeting like, hey, I'm looking to build this for, I'm a merchant, I'm building it for myself, or I'm an agency building it um for a merchant, I would for sure be defaulting to this. I think for those, like literally 100% of the time. It's hard to think of. I think the only place where again you where this won't work is when, hey, I need to have some backend compute, right? So it doesn't come with like an out of the box thing, but there are ways to go and do that. So I'd say that's probably, why I default to it. But look, if you're building an app that's targeting the App Store, or if you have a lot of heavy backend compute that you want to have tightly integrated with your front end, that's probably the place where I'd say like this is probably not the right fit. But if you're building again, apps that are like, hey, I need to help give merchants a rich user interface to go and customize a part of checkout, a part of the admin, and even in some instances, this is a great tool.
Is there functionality in that tool flow to call out to a backend for occasional things if you need some kind of compute you can't handle in the on-site one?
Um, yeah, I mean, so you can. I mean, the thing to keep in mind is like the JS is obviously fully available to the browser, so you got to be careful about how you're doing that, about how you're calling into the backend. Um, so we don't show that in our examples, and it's again not really what it's designed for. But I mean, I'm sure there are going to be enterprising devs that will figure out ways to do that in ways that are like secure.
Sure. Oh, very cool. I can't wait to try that out. There've been many times where I thought, oh, if only I could quickly stand up a UI for this thing, it'd make
Yeah,
everyone's life so much easier.
yeah.
I
And
know I was
again,
already thinking of how I can hand this off to a Flow extension maybe for something like that too, and then do something there. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, very cool,
yeah,
very cool.
yeah. And again, you've got full access to like meta fields, meta objects, all that storage. You have like direct API access to all that. So from a storage perspective, I think you've got most scenarios will be covered with what we've got there.
And will any information about the performance or errors or things like that be surfaced on the dev dashboard like they are for functions and such?
It's a good question. Well, so if you build this app with something like functions, then of course those functions will get surfaced there. We can tease another capability that we just released, and this will work its way into there.
Good lead in.
Yeah, it's a good lead into Shopify App Events. So we released something called Shopify App Events, which enables, not to be confused with next-gen events, which enables developers to send us events about their app. And we did that for use cases around, like, say, observability or simple monitoring, right? So I'm building an app and it's like, hey, I want to track onboarding and how many people successfully complete onboarding, or some other part of your app, or even errors, perhaps. With the App Events API, you can send us an event like name, and then it has a payload, which is kind of a key value store, simple key value store, and then that data is available in Dev Dash. Currently, there's so currently it's available. We got a bunch of apps using it. Like checkout links, Dennis tweeted about it. We're gonna make that you'll see that capability work its way into static apps too. So, for example, if you wanted to have like seamless monitoring from your static app of what's going on, you'll be able to do that and feed that data into Dev Dash. Hopefully, those pieces make sense.
Yeah. So there is some kind of like surface there where you can like roll that out yourself. So there's probably not to the extent of like maybe what Karl's thinking, like, right? Like you're thinking of something like function logs and all this other stuff, but that would be tied in separate anyways. If you're running functions, everything's going to be surfaced via the merchant's dev dashboard then from there for function runs and stuff, right?
Well, if you are the one, again, we have to figure out the pronouns of who's building it. If you're building it as an agency and you have, you would see the function, like if it's your app, it's in your dash, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So so this will give you that ability though, the combination of app events and static apps combined. Once all that glue is there, you'll be able to do a bunch of monitoring on your app. Today, you can already use app events. You just have to do your own auth to actually be able to send events to us.
Gotcha.
So we'll handle it. In the future, that will be handled more seamlessly.
I haven't looked deeply at that recently, so forgive me if I'm misrepresenting this, but memory serves, the interface currently is a little rudimentary for looking through that stuff in the dev dashboard. Are there any plans for improvements just around the ability to look at those events and to filter them and to find meaningful insights from them?
Yes. So currently what we have is all the events are there. You can do filtering at the shop level. You can filter by event name. So you can say, hey, show me like whether this, for example, if you go back to our onboarding use case, you could easily say, hey, show me whether this shop has finished onboarding, right? So if you're debugging something and you want to see where a shop is, you can do that. You could look at, successes, failures, again, based on your app event. We do have further improvements in mind. I won't share them all out, but we want to give you, there's two just general directions to leave some breadcrumbs. One is like richer monitoring. So for example, like you can imagine doing like grouping or stacking where you're like, okay, show me over time this event name and just stack the different responses that come back. Kind of if you can kind of squint and see like, HTTP status monitoring, you want to see, okay, day by day, what do my successes and errors look like? So that sort of functionality will come about is kind of like one direction we're heading in. And then the other is actually just making your monitoring available in your own tooling, right? Today, one of the things is developers have to go into Dev Dash. We've heard loud and clear, like, hey, like I want to be in my own tooling. I want to be able to like from AI Kit say, for example, hey, tell me how this function has performed over the last 10 days or whatever the last week. And we can come back with, well, here's a breakdown of like the total successes and errors, and here's what the errors are. So again, right now you can get that kind of data from the Dev Dash, but you have to go to Dev Dash. And so it's really about like, how do we bring that information into your own tooling, most like IDEs or your CLI?
That would be really cool. I can see lots of uses for that. And then similar vein, and if you can't answer, that's fine, but will there be any sort of ability to respond to data? So for example, triggering a flow or anything like that based on events that come in?
Based on like app events?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to share there yet.
Sure. He didn't say no, Taylor.
Yeah, but I like that.
That's what I heard. So
I like the idea.
So, well, yeah. Okay. So we covered app events. You touched on like the AI toolkit stuff that you want to start digging into that too.
Yeah, let's talk about AI toolkit.
Yeah. So general purpose and those sorts of things. Because we've got developer like tooling and stuff like that as well. But then also there's like more like broad use case scenarios too for like merchants now as well. Like y'all are just trying to like make AI available for everybody, whether you're a dev working in a store or you're an actual brand owner. So I don't know. What do you want to highlight there especially?
I think you nailed it, Taylor. It's exactly that. It was kind of like we said, hey, look, we had a bunch of tooling already with the DevMCP server available that was being used widely by developers. And we kind of said, hey, wouldn't it be interesting if we could make a lot of those same capabilities available to merchants? And so what we did is kind of two things simultaneously. Like one is we introduced two new commands, which are as a part of the CLI. So we have a store auth command and a store execute command. The store auth command authenticates you to the store, and then the execute can execute, GraphQL commands against the shop. And then we rolled that into AI Kit, which is a plugin that works with Claude Code and many others. And so now, if you're kind of like a merchant or an agency that works on behalf of a merchant that wants to be a bit closer to the metal, you can now do things like, hey, you get the combination of a frontier model, like Claude Code, like the Claude model, the Anthropic models, combined with the AI Kit, which has skills and the CLI commands. So the skills are the things that help it like go and look at the docs, validate the GraphQL, and then actually go and execute the GraphQL. So like just to be real world about it now, if a merchant again has a more technical bent, they can say, hey, can you take these, all my products that have a title but don't have a description and come up with nifty descriptions for them. Is one example. Or we're looking at, hey, I want to go run some sort of analysis on this. It can go and do that, and you can have all the data come back to you, and again, utilizing it in your own terminal or in your own IDE.
Now, I think a lot of people's mental models when it comes to connecting tools together like this is MCP. You specifically called this a plugin, and I think I caught the difference in what you described as having skills and stuff, but could you just illuminate for those that are wondering how is this different? What makes this a plugin and not an MCP server?
Yeah, well, it's the ever-changing landscape of tooling, and how, and like the kind of best way to integrate into um into like, Claude and Codex and all the tooling. What this enables is the plugin is basically um, the repo, which is Shopify AI Kit, plus the CLI commands all together. And it's that combination of like the AI Kit, which has the skills, and then the CLI commands to go and execute it, which makes it a bit different. And so that combination is what allows the two to work in tandem. So like the um, the the AI Kit and the skills learn is about, hey, this is what to do, and then the CLI can actually go and do the execution of it.
Gotcha, that makes
Nice.
sense.
I'm curious too, like, if I don't know if you can speak to that as well. Of like, I mean, obviously, I feel like Shopify is always trying to stay at the very front of AI, all the things, right? Did y'all build this out because this was something merchants were asking for, or you're just trying to anticipate like ahead of time? I feel like initially devs were like the only ones that kind of knew about AI. It kind of had its own little corner of the world or whatever. And so got this big old lead in productivity, like from merchants, but now everyone else has discovered it too. And so I feel like that gap's closed a little bit compared to like how much more productive we were. So I was curious if that was starting to come from just y'all were heavily anticipating this, or just because you were starting to get a lot of feedback of like, hey, we need this.
I'd say more the former, more
Mm-hmm.
anticipation, and just seeing of like, hey, you know, merchants we're kind of seeing indications that merchants are more comfortable, of course, being in Claude, being in ChatGPT, being in Claude Code. And so it's like, well, wait a second, like if merchants are there, what are things we can do to help accelerate their productivity? And so it's just kind of like seeing those indications and saying, hey, like, look, this is not for everybody. And I would say like for most merchants, most of the time, the admin and Sidekick is the place to be. This is a bit kind of like advanced layer, and if you want to be closer to the metal.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, we can't talk about AI and Shopify and not talk about Sidekick, right? So like
Yeah,
that's a lot of like cool, fun merchant facing stuff. But what's is it Sidekick getting more powers here, kind of type thing too, or
yeah,
what's going on there?
yeah. Well, I mean, today's an exciting day because part of Edition, Sidekick app extensions are now generally available, and so that's awesome. We did a developer preview of this at the last edition. We've been working with dozens of partners to get feedback, to improve the experience, and to make sure it's really safe. Because that's something that actually is really important about Sidekick, is that it is a safe environment. And we want merchants to feel confident, like, hey, I can use this thing and it's not going to destroy my store. Because like this is their business, it's their livelihood running on this infrastructure. So Sidekick app extensions, we have two things about it. Like one is a data extension, the other is the app action extension. The data extension, as the name implies, allows developers to build something that can respond to questions about like, hey, like we actually launched with Klaviyo as one of the partners today. And so folks can say, hey, merchants can say, hey, please tell me how my most recent email campaign did. Um, Sidekick will figure out, okay, email campaign, it has indications from the description of the tools that Klaviyo has created that they're a candidate. Oh, wait, that's the only one on this shop that makes sense. It will send off that query and that data to Klaviyo through their extension that is on that shop. Klaviyo will come back and answer that question. And so now it's pretty neat, right? You can be like in Sidekick and having a conversation and getting data directly about how an email campaign did or about a customer, et cetera.
Yeah, that part is huge, especially because, I mean, there's so much you can do in the Shopify admin that sometimes it is just easier just to like ask, Sidekick, like, where or do I do this or how do I do this? And apps are kind of the same way, right? Like if they have a lot of functionality, it's just nice to have some kind of an interface where you can surface like the needed information as quickly as possible. And that was a good point too on safety. Like I actually I kind of ran into a situation the other day where I was using Sidekick and asked it to do something that I didn't actually have permissions to do in a store, like to change. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was compare app pricing or something like that for a variant or something like that. I can't remember what it was or whatever. But it was like, hey, like made the update. It was like, no, you didn't. I was like, oh wait, I don't actually have permissions in the store. So like the idea of making sure that the right people can still access our Sidekick actually like, respects all that from a safety perspective for folks is super important. I don't think probably we recognize how important that is or how hard a job that probably is for y'all to make sure that works right.
Yeah. And also, like, again, one of the things that we're doing with Sidekick app extensions is ensuring even, I mean, sometimes developers might do this on accident, sometimes might do it on purpose, but like, is that apps cannot mutate data in any way, right? And so those are the sort of things we will catch and flag and make sure don't happen.
Now, this might be going off topic just a little bit, but as you're describing this, it's like, wow, there's this world now where we can pull all this information together and ask intelligent questions just from the Sidekick prompt. And what a cool reality that is. But then thinking about how many apps don't have those extensions right now, like Klaviyo does, right? But most don't. Is there any thought to establishing some, I guess, visibility into that? Like as part of Built for Shopify, for example, making some kind of badge or requirement for, hey, this app actually has deep integration with Sidekick.
It's a good question. Something we might consider. We're not doing that today. I mean, I think that my take is that there's a lot of motivation and a lot of incentive for app developers to go and build this. And we've seen really phenomenal demand for it. Two things we've seen. We've seen phenomenal demand for it. Another thing is it's fairly easy to go and build one, right? Because most apps have a back end. You build out an extension, you tell it like, hey, these are the tools I want to have. And those tools basically point to routes most likely on your app back end. And so a lot of developers I've spoken to are like, yeah, I built the Sidekick app extension in like a day and a half. It's like super straightforward to do. So I think that combination of like, hey, it makes sense because it's unequivocally good for merchants. Merchants have already decided to install your app. So why not create that ease of use, especially when it's really easy to do? So we'll see how that plays out. And I think, if we think there's a need to create like kind of further more carrots there, maybe we do that.
I feel like it's probably just going to become the new standard, right? Like, why wouldn't you want like that surface to be easily exposed? And so everyone's just going to make it the new status quo of like, oh yeah, like of course I'm going to have this involved or whatever kind of type thing,
Yeah, that's right.
But if you were a merchant or an agency partner helping a merchant, it would be nice to know, like, if I want to reach for a curated set of apps that are going to provide this level of deep integration because I want to interface with my store this way, it would be nice to be able to make that selection without having to look through and try to evaluate from marketing material that may or may not describe that. But you're right, Taylor, it's probably something that will become a moot point as time goes on.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Karl. I think it's just like, one of the places where we'll see how kind of like ecosystem plays out and, maybe it becomes like a thing that we do require in some way, but we'll see.
So you mentioned the data extensions. That's the first part of it. There was another type of Sidekick app extension as well.
Yeah, so Sidekick app action extensions, which enables you to basically stage an action that the merchant can then go and do. So if we stick with our example use case around like email marketing, a merchant might say, hey, I want to create a transactional campaign to send to all my VIP customers who have spent $1,000 in the last month. And then what will happen is it will basically, again, figure it out. Okay, wait a second. There's a tool that this app has created that does this kind of action. And then it'll automatically form fill into that app action and into that form and get it all staged and ready for the merchant. And now, again, we don't mutate. Sidekick will not mutate on behalf of the merchant, but we can get everything ready for them. So it's form filled in. Here's the campaign. Here's the name, et cetera.
Nice. So have it do all the busy work and like then, let the merchant like, hit go kind of type thing. So
Exactly.
that's nice.
Yep. That's exactly the idea behind it.
Which that's the best use case for AI. Like, do all the stuff I really don't want to do, please, and then I'll make it do the actual things. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about just, again, keeping the environment safe for merchants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. That's awesome. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been asking about the data extensions for a while. Like, they've been very excited since this was initially teased. So I know people are going to be like heavily investing in that part. So the action piece also really, really great idea.
Cool.
Yeah. So there were a couple of other things I know, and we've kind of like danced around like a couple of dev dashboard type stuff. I don't know if you want to like
Yeah.
start digging into like all the wild stuff y'all have rolled out there the past several months of just
Yeah.
like vast amounts of improvements from how this initially started to like where it is today.
Yeah. Let's talk
I'm
about
not even
dev
sure.
dashboard.
Yeah, we could probably
Let's talk
do
about dev.
a whole episode on that. But yeah, so like let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah. Where should we start, Taylor?
Oh man, well, I know like offhand, just initially like function logs have improved significantly, like
Yep.
crazily. Y'all did some like huge updates there. I don't know if you want to touch on that, because initially there was this whole like back and forth dance on function logs like surfacing like properly and then having to share them and like all this
Yep.
back and forth with merchants and stuff or whatever. And now it's just like it just works.
Yep.
And everyone's like super jazzed about it. So I don't know if you want to touch on that. That was something I was
Yeah.
particularly excited about.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, we can just zoom out and talk about like what we're doing with Dev Dash overall, like what we've released to date. So one of the, as folks have noticed, there's been a lot of feedback on Twitter. Please keep it coming, on X, I should say. We recently moved over all of the store management capabilities into Dev Dash. So creating a store for, obviously we always had dev stores there, but now client transfer stores, collaboration is all there. And we've also moved all the team management to the same system and underlying capabilities that we use for merchants, which gives people, it makes it easier to manage like teams, especially at scale, to go manage it. So that's been like a big thing that we dropped. Now we still have some what I refer to on Twitter as jank between Partner Dash and Dev Dash. And we are actively working to fix that, to make it so like, hey, as we talked about on the blog, like Dev Dash is the place where you can do all of your building, and start there for building apps, catalogs, themes, stores, all of it. It will be on Dev Dash over time, and that will really become the singular surface to go manage it. But today we're just really excited that we've already got all of the apps, the vast majority of the store building. We have like pretty nice integration into team management, is all live today.
Yeah, and I think at least with what you talked about too, I think that might have derived a little bit from your comment too on Twitter. I'll still call it Twitter or whatever, but like Twitter X or whatever. But there at least for now in particular, there are instances where there are distinctly different operations for your partner dashboard and your dev dashboard. But like you said, so that's the way to think of it. Like all the building like is happening in dev dashboard, and there's just some pieces that are going to stay partner dashboard for a while still yet.
For a little bit more, but again, I think we were really committed to having an awesome experience where developers start, or builders of all kind, whether they're merchants, agencies, 3P app developers, can start in Dev Dash, do all the work, and then from there may be like a couple of jumping off points. Hey, I want to go manage my team. We pull up kind of what we call the organization layer, where you manage your team. I want to go distribute. That might be elsewhere, but we really want that singular experience that is highly frictionless for developers.
Has there been some intention to the UX of the dev dashboard? As an example, and I hate to be one of those guys that's going to bring things to you without it being as specific as I'd like to be, because I can't remember the exact details. But I know there are times that myself and some other folks I work with would try to find a particular store if we have a long list of partner stores or development stores, whatever, and the searching doesn't work, or it's just some of the fundamentals just didn't seem very well polished. Has that been given some attention in this release?
It's upcoming. So, yes, one of the things I've heard loud and clear, like just to highlight what you articulate, is like, hey, in partners, it's really easy to just go to the top search bar, find a store. It just takes a bit more right now in Dev Dash, and yes, that is a sort of polish that we absolutely will get to.
Thank you.
So acknowledged.
I do like that, now at least too, with like the collaborator and roles, like your team, like management essentially is a little bit more in line with what we would see in Shopify stores. Like for a while, that's been like a very disjointed thing where like you'd send a collab request and it looked nothing like what the merchant's going to see on their end on the admin. And this is like now actually pretty close. Like it looks like very, very good. It's much more in lines, which makes it easier to communicate to merchants too. So, I mean, at least that's very nice.
Yeah.
I know that had to have taken a lot of effort too to get that moved over.
Yes. I mean, one of the biggest things is like we're just changing out kind of the underlying architecture for all the team management, for users, roles, permissions from a bespoke model to leveraging the same model that we use for merchants. And like, we think that that's a good thing overall. It helps us move faster, so we build one system instead of two. But also, again, people who are familiar with how team management works in the Shopify admin are going to be easily familiar with it now also for their partner organization.
Yeah. And I think the only call out there on some folks will have, if you've not looked in this in a while and you pop in there, like we had people that would log in and be like, oh no, all these merchants have access to all my dev stores because you can see it in Partner Dash, but it's just because like of where like the permissions live now.
Correct.
So which it's again like it's a good thing ultimately that it's mirroring more of like the same sort of expectations that merchants see from what we see and those sorts of things. So ultimately, very good move. It's just different. So
Yep.
yeah.
Cool.
I would say so. We talked about that piece at least, and then I know like the improved logging and monitoring touched on that very like high level as well. I don't know if there's anything that you want to speak to that as well, because like you said, like we kind of hit like some of the overall general stuff that has moved over there, and we've kind of like touched on some of that piece a little bit too. Is there anything you want to like dig into on that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like a couple. So yes, we definitely gave logging, I'd say, a pretty hefty overhaul. We brought in API requests actually. So all of your GraphQL, all of your, if you're still using REST, we have those API requests in there too. A bunch of filtering capabilities on those as well. So you can go and look at, hey, on this shop, show me all the queries I've done, show me the mutations I've done. You can look at errors there too. And so it really brings like a lot of what I call like inspectability to your app or to whatever you're building because you can just see everything there. So those logs, you got good at the beginning, like really nice visualizations now that so you can do like time series and look at, hey, show me like again this shop, this GraphQL mutation, show me the errors over time, so you can start to answer those questions. Um, we recently actually put in filtering by IP address. This is like a little thing down in the weeds, and we
Oh,
actually we
okay.
actually on the right rail we show you like the full details of every GraphQL. We show you request, response, cost. We show you everything in there. We put in things like IP address also just to help. Again, hey, I want to make sure like everything's fine, and like what developers might know the IP addresses that they're making calls from. If they see anything suspicious, they can use that. And then we also will use that as tooling too. When we see something out of the ordinary, we'll proactively reach out to the developer and say, hey, go check the request from this IP address because we're seeing it's just normal. So it gives us the ability to work with developers a bit better there. And then function logs, I think, have gotten a lot better. All the sharing jank has gone away. So yeah, I think it was an overall like a really solid release for logs.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
That's
Oh, go
been
ahead,
a
Carl.
huge
I'm sorry.
improvement. Now, I was going to ask if sharing jank was a technical term, but no, I
100%.
really appreciated that myself too, because from day one, trying to work with functions, that was always a pain point, and now it's so much nicer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the filtering piece like was very, very helpful. Even so, I'm not a public app dev, but we have custom apps for like some merchants or what have you, and we had that where only one store was having an issue with a custom app that was installed, and was very easy to figure out what was going on just because could filter to the store and everything in the past hour and like replicate the issue. So it was very nice to have compared to before going back and forth between like share logs and
Yeah,
then try to hit
yeah,
checkout and like refresh and then go back and like
yeah,
so that was huge, very, very helpful indeed,
yeah.
especially when it's a plus shop and you're trying to do some weird stuff or whatever there. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And then just to kind of complete the picture, the logging is also totally unified. So we talked about app events at the top. So the logging has app events, webhooks, functions, API requests in GraphQL, and a REST. And like to tie it back with our earlier conversation, like that'll just keep getting better now.
Nice, that's awesome.
And there's still ways to export those logs or analysis offline, or is it all just to the interface still?
it's all through the interface still. But that's what we talked about earlier of like working to make that available so developers can utilize it in their own tooling. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Is that honestly, I don't know as far as like plans to like dig that out a little bit more if that's able, is that like through the partner API, or we're just like talking about straight exports, or is that something that y'all have like talked about a bit more yet?
It's something that we're still working on.
Yeah.
We'll share that when we're ready. Is what I say on that one.
Okay.
About the mechanisms how.
Stop pushing him, Taylor. He's our guest.
That's I was just curious. That's, I'm always trying to see if I can get Eytan to slip up or something,
That's right.
it just doesn't happen, I was even trying to get him to do it before we were recording and nothing,
He's,
Um,
he's-
so I don't know if you want to, I think we covered a lot of like the storefront, the dev side of things, from those sorts of specifics. UCP, like obviously like a bunch of really huge, pieces have improved there as well. I don't know what you want to talk about there between like the catalog API and everything else. There's been a lot of like shifts there, or at least it's been popping in the changelog.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, we've been investing a lot in both UCP, and in the catalog experience in Dev Dash to go and build a catalog. So catalog in Dev Dash, we've made the playground a lot better. You'll see it internally you'll see it when you go log into Dev Dash. Just made it easier to use it, made it easier to see your request, your response, and we have way more filters available in terms of like saving a catalog. Like way more robust filters again in terms of shaping it. If you're like, hey, I want to go build a 3D printer site, and I want to have like very specific price points. I want to have you know narrowed down in certain ways, you can go and do that now. Um, uh, so that's kind of like one big thing that we're gonna keep investing in, is making it easier for people to build new and unique buyer experiences with the catalog. Think of it as like more, like, hey, I want to go and filter by color. Only show me things of this color, or better like price filters, price tiers. Those are all like the kind of new ways that you can go and slice down your catalog.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes
Um,
sense.
yeah. Um, and then you want to talk about UCP side?
Yeah. Let's do UCP side too.
Yeah. So just as a refresher for your audience, for everybody, right?
For the two of them.
What's that?
For the two of them.
For the two of them. UCP is Universal Commerce Protocol, that we co-developed with others in the industry, including Google and Wayfair, and now many others have joined on of it as well. And we've been investing in just continuously improving the capabilities of the spec, i.e. like, hey, commerce has a lot of complexity to it. And so how do we represent that kind of full complexity of it? And so we recently released the UCP CLI. And what that does is it helps give you the training wheels, if you will, to make it really easy to build kind of agentic experiences. So it's got a command to search our catalog. I should note also, again, catalog, actually, the default catalog, you can actually now do it in an unauthenticated manner. So you don't need an API token. You can download the UCP, you can install the UCP CLI and get going. And then you can use it to go and build a cart. You can say, hey, some products came back from catalog. I want to create a cart that has these line items on it, and it can go and do that. And what's really neat about this, again, is that because it is a universal protocol, right, you can actually use the same exact code to build a cart with Shopify products, or you can use a cart to build, that might have Wayfair products in it. And so that's that's kind of the really neat thing about UCP in terms of what it's going to enable, is these sort of experiences where, look, you can have source products from wherever and then build a cart using the exact same capabilities, because that like it will all adhere to UCP.
Wow. Okay. I didn't think I realized. I didn't connect those dots. Like that's so. So if you're building the cart, are you running like multiple checkouts from that, or I guess I'm having trouble wrapping my mind around like when you're building a cart from like multiple places like that. Like who owns the checkout? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. So it would be one checkout per merchant, right? So obviously there's not like a commingled checkout as of now. But again, from a developer standpoint, they can build once and be like, hey, the exact same primitives to go and build a cart, to add the products to the cart will work, whether that is a Shopify merchant or anybody else. But yeah, like, I mean, again, we'll have to see all the experiences that come out. You would probably be two different checkouts. Hey, okay, you added a bunch of things to your cart. Great. Go and check out here with whatever. This is selling use in 3D printers from a certain shop. And then this could be a completely different shop where you're checking out on that one.
Nice. That's really
But
cool. And so,
yeah.
yeah, you can figure out your own way to like, build in things like if you're building this all out or whatever, when you have instances where, they don't offer X, Y, and Z, but like now we can figure out if there's compatibility between like the products for whatever you're needing, kind of type thing. You can, manage that part yourself or whatever. So that's really cool.
Yep. Yep.
Nice.
Now, I've seen the notes. You hinted at agent to agent purchasing.
Yeah. Say more.
Is that something you can talk about? So, for example, is the proposal here that the agent will make a purchase on your behalf to another agent?
Yeah, I mean, so like right now, I mean, there's still a human in the loop in terms of like the um the actually confirming and saying checkout. But it's totally possible to go and say, hey, I'm gonna have I'm going to build an agent that will go and do all the sourcing for me, all of the, discovery for me, and like fully assemble a cart and get everything ready. Right.
Okay.
And so those sort of experiences are now possible. Like we could actually probably, do a jam session and go build ourselves an agent that could go do that. And basically like, for now, there's still a human loop saying, okay, like, well, if you got Shop Pay, right, you could probably actually just even tell it like, hey, use my default Shop Pay wallet and actually have, ChatGPT or like have your agent actually go and click the button for you. So I'd say it's it's those sort of experiences that are now possible.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. And I know you stopped short of like sort of endorsing this idea of a fully autonomous workflow, but if and when that future arrives or people choose to go down that path, has there been any consideration going around like who's accountable when something goes wrong? If the wrong thing is purchased, is it on the merchant? Is it on the shopper? Is it on the agent? How's all that sort out in the end?
Oof. I mean, I think it depends on the use case, right? Like I think with all these things, just zooming out for 1 second, like one of the things that we're trying to do in our agentic tooling is make it really clear to the merchant and then to the buyer too, of like, hey, you are allowing this thing to go and do it for you. So let's just go back for a second to AI Kit, right? AI Kit has mechanisms in place to be like, hey, it is about to run the store execute command. Are you okay with this? And so that's really important. Like it's an important kind of line, if you will, that there is a human that at some point has said, I agree to this. Now, maybe they agree to it and then the agent goes and does it on his behalf, but they shouldn't be surprised that the agent executed this thing on their behalf. Right. So again, if we look at AI Kitten and I have a store execute that's doing a bulk command and it is bulk, deleting 1,000 products and creating 2,000 new ones for whatever use case, um, like, maybe like you'll be like, oh, wow, I can't believe it did all that. But you should not be surprised that you gave it permission to go and do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Speaking of making sense, saving one of the best updates for last, if we can circle back around away. I noticed that we talked about Shopify app events, but we didn't talk about um, next gen events. We totally missed how y'all are essentially
Yeah.
completely redoing webhooks, right?
Yes.
So I don't know if we want to like circle back around to that or if Karl wants to talk about AI more, but I do want to make sure that we talk about this because this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I was also going to bring it up. So, yes, it's good.
Yeah. We should definitely talk about next gen events. It's a big deal.
So the biggest piece of this is, and Carl's probably like better at this because I'm not a true app dev in the sense of I only dabble and I'm not really heavily into this, but I do know that one of the biggest issues with webhooks and all this other stuff is webhooks can be crazy noisy, and like you get a lot of stuff that you don't need, and you have to deal with all of the filtering and sussing out like what information is actually important to your app. And so y'all decided that you're just going to, fix it. So I don't know if like you want to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Yeah, 100%. I think you described it really well, Taylor, right? So old webhooks are, on paper sound good, but especially at any sort of meaningful scale are very challenging because you basically subscribe to a webhook and you say, hey, please notify me when a product is updated on this shop. But the product resource, as we all know, has dozens of fields. And what happens is like one field changes on a product and you receive this massive payload. Hey, this product was updated in this shop. And the burden with old webhooks was on the developer to figure out like, okay, well, what changed? And is everything I actually care about changing? So if you imagine a world where you're like, hey, I really care about price changes on a product or on a product variant, you would have to go and figure out like, okay, well, what did I have before? What was my prior state? And then what is this thing telling me now? Did the price change? And if it changed, by how much and all that? And that's a lot of work and it's a lot of volume to go and deal with because, hey, even for a smaller app who maybe has, whatever, 100 installs, if their app is installed on a shop that has millions of products and tons of updates, they have this fire hose of data coming at them that they have to go and deal with, which also costs a lot of money and just is very wasteful. Okay, that's the problem. Solution is next-gen events. And next-gen events allow you to say, hey, for that exact same use case, I care about the topic is product. I care about products. The action I care about is updates. And specifically, I only care about when the price on a variant is changing or the compare at price is changing. And what that will do is then we will only send those events when either the price or the compare at price is changing. So that's number one. You just dramatically cut down on all the load that you have. In addition to that, we also then let you basically form up your own payloads, right? So instead of getting a monstrous payload, you can basically do a GraphQL query and say, hey, when this price changes, run this GraphQL query to go and get this information. So maybe when there's, again, that price change happened, you're like, okay, I want to get the ID, the price, the compare at price, the SKU, and a couple, and then from the product, I want to get the ID and the title and the status. So it allows you to build really custom payloads, again, with exactly what you want. Once again, cutting back dramatically on the information you have and just allowing you to get precisely what you want.
Now, some of that functionality I have used before with existing webhooks. I feel like I was able to filter. I was able to only select aspects of the payload I wanted. So is this fundamentally just bringing all that together into a nicer package, or is there some new shift to that I'm not picking up on?
Yeah. So the big shift is that in the prior one, in prior, well, maybe hone it a little bit when you say like filter, just so we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah, sure. So I've been able to say, hey, I only want to hear about updates to particular products. I only want to know about these particular fields when they come through, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but the big difference now is you can be very clear about when you're actually getting notified. And so like again
Okay.
with price, like it was not possible with to do like, hey, like I only want to be notified if price changes. And so that's kind of the big distinction is not like filtering afterwards, but being able to say, hey, in general, only notify me when this thing is that way. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. So it's not just the data, there's intent behind it too.
Yeah, it's coming back to like when are you getting, like it's being able to change when you get notified.
Yeah, because before it was just something like products updated and then here's all the information, right? Like, and you can
Exactly.
filter based on like, oh, I want to know only about these specific products are updated, but it's not something as specific as just the price. It's like, oh no, we changed the description, the status changed or whatever kind of type thing. But now it's like, nope, just tell me when the price changes. That's it.
Exactly.
Nice.
I know you made mention too, and people have talked before about reliability issues with the old webhooks. and a lot of workarounds and hand-wringing that developers would do to try to address that. And I think one of the things you've addressed is making these new ones much more reliable. Can you speak to any of the pains that people used to have on that regard and how you've sort of addressed them here?
Yeah, I mean, I guess words matter here. So I think prior webhooks are current webhooks I'd say are quite reliable. We've done a lot of work over the years to have very high deliverability. We have mechanisms to, if the subscriber is failing, we have ways to retry, et cetera. So I think we have quite good deliverability overall with current webhooks. Events takes it to the next level, and maybe we should do like a separate blog post on it. In terms of being more resilient to any internal failures that we might have, right? So if like there's kind of like an intermittent failure, then it's possible that with webhooks we may fail to deliver an event, although we have a lot of resiliency there. We have even better with next-gen events in terms of how we architected it, to be looking at all of the database changes and database logs, which are quite robust. And that way, like, let's say, hey, the receiver, like internally, our thing that is processing webhooks goes down for like a couple of minutes. It can go and look at the database log and be like, okay, wait, actually, let me make sure I've got everything here. So our goal is to provide at least once delivery guarantees. Sometimes we may send multiple, but at least once delivery guarantees.
I like that. And I also get frustrated because these are the sort of things that I wish we could learn more about, the technical underpinnings that you guys pull off for this sort of stuff. Because to me, it's just fascinating, but I know we can't go there. But
Yeah,
it sounds like
it'll
lot
be
of
good for another time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nice. So I think we covered. I mean, no. I think there's one last piece I know we didn't talk about, like at least before we start moving into the next segment or whatever. But Shopify app pricing, we totally missed that too. So
Yeah,
I don't know what you want to say about that.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal.
I just want to maybe just close on one thing, because I just want to I think it's an important nuance. I think it's good for everybody to be on the same page about it. Because like Karl, you were talking about like current webhooks and filtering versus new stuff. And like, I just want to put a finer point on it. Because like, again, you can do filtering with current webhooks, but you're basically, what we're doing there is we're saying, hey, if the price is greater than a certain amount, we just won't send it to you, right? And then new payloads, we're basically suppressing it. But that doesn't allow for developers to be like, actually, what I just really care about is like if the price changed at all. And so you don't you just have a lot better fine-grained control here about when you're going to get events.
Yeah, thanks for calling that out and for clarifying it. And I think that is a very compelling example from the use cases that we're going to get from this new technology. So
yeah. Let's do Shopify App Pricing.
Do it. So this caught me a little off guard. I wasn't paying close enough attention to the changelog, and I'm pretty sure Taylor even read it to me out loud a week or two before, but suddenly we woke up and our app was no longer working. And it was because of this change, and it's obviously on us, but I quickly boned up on what was new. Tell us more about this, because this is quite a shift.
Yeah. I'd say this is this is a shift and an evolution. So probably 18, 24 months ago, we announced Shopify Managed Pricing, which enabled folks to easily set up recurring plans. So again, use case here is I'm an app developer. I'm selling on the Shopify App Store to merchants. Managed Pricing let you set up recurring plans that we would then host. Like, we would host a plan definition for you. You would define it, and we would do all of the billing, the recurring billing for those. So people did not need to get into the gnarly bits of the billing API and go roll that themselves. We basically added a key primitive to Shopify Managed Pricing, and now we're calling it Shopify App Pricing. And that is usage-based pricing. So what you do as a developer is you define, if you want to, so let's just take a use case where there is usage-based pricing. If we come back to our favorite one, like around email marketing, right? You may have like hey, my app is $20 a month recurring at the base plan, and then I have usage-based charges for email and for SMS and for other ways of communicating. And email, I charge 10 cents per 1,000, and then maybe it's a volume discount of like, okay, if you're sending, I charge 10 cents per 1,000 from 1 to 1 million emails, and then 5 cents per 1,000 from 1,000,001 to infinite emails. All of that can now be represented in Shopify App Pricing. You define the meters. The meters are like, hey, I have this thing called email, And that is a thing that people will pay for. And then you define how you want the pricing for that meter, for that usage charge to work. We can do volume graduated, tier. There's different ways of doing volume pricing. Um, and and then you use that same app event API to basically increment the meters and change them on a shop level. So this enables an app to basically have a recurring part, which we've already had, and then also the usage part. And then you can combine all of that into plans and say, hey, my base plan has this usage meter, like the following usage meters, and here's how I price them. My advanced plan has this with these meters as well. And so it's really now a more comprehensive solution to app pricing. The reason why we did this, really important to come back to why, is that one of the top things that we heard from merchants was like, hey, I got billed for this thing, but I don't really understand what's going on. And I think in many cases, developers were not trying to be nefarious in any way, but just because of the way the billing API works, it was very hard. It's hard to kind of create that level of clarity with this very primitive, like credit and debit mechanism. And so app pricing puts a lot of structure around these things. So over time, we will show to merchants like, hey, this app you have installed, here's exactly what you're getting charged for, and here's all the usage charges that you incurred. And I think that's good for the ecosystem in general, where merchants can feel confident, like, oh, okay, I know what I'm paying for. And again, there's been a lot of merchant frustration around this, where they're like, I don't even know what I'm paying for. I have these 8 apps installed, and there's so much opacity in terms of like what I'm actually paying for.
Yeah, that's going to make a big difference for merchants, especially. And so with this switch, now this was some new functionality, but is it required now for apps to go this route, or can they still manage billing on their own to the APIs?
Good question. So Shopify App Pricing is the green path, like we call the recommended path. We have marked the billing API as legacy. If there are use cases where you're like, hey, I just can't do what I really want to do with app pricing, then folks can use the billing API. But like all of our focus, all of our energy is on app pricing. And so the billing API is really at this point in maintenance mode.
Gotcha. That's a good distinction. So it's not slated to go away anytime soon. I'm sure there's many, many, many apps that are still using it. But,
yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
No panic to get off it or migrate, but don't use it.
Correct. Yeah. Very well said. Yeah. If you're building a new app, you should definitely be using app pricing. I think it's also just easier. I mean, for developers, if you want to go build pricing and you have like, hey, I've got some recurring charges and usage charges, I'm biased, but I think it's way easier.
Yeah. I've been in plenty of projects where it's like, why did we build our own billing system? Like, this is not the the work we should be focusing on, right? Like, offload it to someone else. So it's nice that you can step in and provide that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh man. Is there anything else on your mind, Taylor? There's so much good stuff we talked about here.
I mean, I don't have an app in the App Store, so I unfortunately don't have any kind of insightful information about Shopify app pricing other than I do think it's helpful for merchants. Like anything that we can do to surface that. And I know that's a common thing that pops up in the community as well, is hearing from people about, they get reached out to by a merchant who's confused or angry about why they got charged, and even when it's not accurately, it's not them or whatever. So if this helps move people closer to that, I think it's a win. It's going to cut down support for apps, just because it's more clear for merchants and they know what they're getting. So I think that's awesome, at least.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly our goal. Like when we skint out a year where everybody's using app pricing, I think it'll be better for merchants. They get a lot of clarity. It's better for developers because it's easier to build, easier to support, and better for Shopify too, because again, also like sometimes we end up in between where we're like trying to figure out, like a merchant calls, asks about their bill, and we're trying to decipher, okay, well, what's going on here?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we've covered a lot of ground, and unless I'm missing something, I think we're getting near the end here. But I do have 2 questions I wanted to ask Eytan as we closed. Since you've invested so much into this, Eytan, what's the first thing that you would be excited about a developer trying out when this comes out?
Ooh. There's so many. I'd say the first thing, it'd probably be Sidekick app extensions if I had to pick one. Because I think like kind of as we talked about, I think it's going to be like the new normal and like the new expectation for how merchants are going to work. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, if your app is not visible in Sidekick, it will kind of feel like not a first class citizen, and like it'll feel harder to use. So
Mhm.
I think that's the first. And I think it's so easy to build with because, again, I think the DX is really good. And the vast majority of apps already have well-defined backends with API routes, et cetera, and they can just leverage those directly.
Now, on the flip side, and I don't know if you can speak to this or not, but what's not in this release that you wish were there, or what's the next hard problem that you want to solve in this space?
Ooh. I won't share too much forward-looking stuff there because that'll ruin all the fun, guys. Um, But I think, we're really excited about, we made big steps over the last 9 months. We launched DevDash in September 2025. We just did a big release now to change the underpinnings of it in terms of like all the user management, storage building it all in one place, and like really looking forward to that future where the DX reaches a new level in terms of DevDash. We just did logs. We talked about that. That's a huge step up. All the logging improvements are great. And I think it's like, another big notch to climb there on the mountain, if you will, is getting to this like far better DX where everything is more seamless for developers. So come a long way, and I'm looking forward to the next things.
Well, we're looking forward to it as well, and thanks for helping us by sharing us what's going on with the journey, and so we can keep up with all the crazy things you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we usually have a second part of the show. We're going to skip right to the third part of the show today. Sorry, Taylor. Changelog will have to wait for the future.
This whole episode's a changelog.
Exactly. This basically was a changelog. This is someone else talking. Picks of the week. So this is how we like to end our time, just having a chance to share something interesting, something that brings some humanity to our guests and to ourselves. So, Taylor, would you like to share yours first?
Wow.
I know.
Me
It's an honor.
first. Crazy. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Usually I get to go last because I've talked your ear off and you're tired of me talking.
Yeah,
So I'm going to pick I got one of these little MagSafe little portable batteries things or whatever. Everyone probably has one of these or whatever. I just am finally on board with it. So it's just something that like will attach to the back of your phone to recharge. I just needed a power bank basically because short story. I was recording my daughter's softball game and the battery died like in the fourth inning. And so I looked like, the unprepared guy who, man, like it recorded right after the fourth inning and then we don't have the rest of the game. And so it was like live streaming the game through this app or whatever that all these like things do or whatever. And so everybody that was watching it like didn't get to watch. So anyways, I was researching some solutions, got this power bank that I can also use with my phone, but I used the power bank to basically hot swap the batteries while it was running. And so then that way I could change out the batteries during the game, and now I can record entire length softball games for my daughter. So very helpful, very multifunctional use case there.
You are committed. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll go next. We'll let you end, Eytan, since you're our guest. We'll give you that privilege. Mine are often food related, and this time it's no different. So these, you'll see, I found these in the reduced aisle at Kroger. These are Atkins chocolate
Dangerous.
truffles, and as you know, I'm doing keto, have been for a while now, and so I'm always looking for a cheap sweet because the ones that they sell are usually so expensive. So I had like 4 bags. I'm like, I'll just buy them. If they're so terrible, I wouldn't waste that much. They're delicious. So if you're looking for a high protein, low carb, little pick me up, the Atkins chocolate truffles hit the spot.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Good one.
Eytan?
All right. We can do like books or things like that, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
All right.
On
cool.
occasion, we have done intellectual things as well. Mm-hmm.
All right. I think I might have done something aviation related last time. So I'm a bit of an aviation geek. I've always been into like, planes of all kinds, but a lot of commercial airliners. So I actually ended up reading, I'm mostly done with one, halfway through another, 2 books simultaneously about aviation. And they're actually good. They actually go well together because they kind of like actually reference each other, or sorry, the more modern one references the older one. So they are Flying Blind, which is by this guy, Dominic Gates. And he's a Seattle Times reporter, and he talks about, it's Flying Blind, the rise and fall of Boeing. And it talks about the 737 MAX and how the 737 MAX like came to be in the 1960s and its entire journey up until basically some of the fateful, unfortunate accidents they had in like the late 2010s, right? But it really goes in depth to talk about like, well, how did this company that it brought so much innovation to obviously the US, but to the world in terms of aviation. Like how did this happen? Which is really fascinating study. And also like for somebody that for us that build products, also like, when you deal with like physical hardware and flying machines, just some of the ways they have to like make decisions years, if not decades in advance, and try and figure out, okay, where's the market going to go? I think it's really fascinating. And that there's another book called Sporty Game that was written in like the 70s, in like probably 1970s, 1980s, that tracks like the earlier part of like Airbus and Boeing and how Airbus came to be and the competition between the two. So if you're into aviation at all, those are two really good books.
Those are really good suggestions. I also am an
Nice.
aviation enthusiast. I'll have to check those out.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is scratch your itch too, Eytan, but there's another really good book. It's about the history of the Skunk Works program here in the U.S., the development of like the U-2 biplane and SR-71 and the company structure that made that possible in terms of Lockheed Martin and the Skunk Works. So that's a great one to check out if you'd like to hear about that.
Cool.
Yep. All right. Well, I could yammer on all day about planes, so I will stop myself. But hey, you've wasted another perfectly good hour that you could have spent coding, listening to us talk to Eytan on the Good Week podcast. Thank you for all the heads up. We can't wait to dive in and get our hands on some of these features. And always welcome back to the show. So hopefully we'll see you again sometime in the near future. Thanks, Eytan.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you guys in Toronto in a month at
That's right.
.dev.
Yeah. We'll be there.
Let's do it. Awesome.
Awesome.
Great. Thanks,
Stop.
guys.